First tonight, how Hertfordshire is forcing its gang members and knife carriers to confront the future they face if they don't change. We've heard today that nationally, knife crime has risen by 7% over the last year. In our region, there have been more than 2,000 incidents in the last 12 months. Only Cambridgeshire, in fact, has seen its numbers fall. But in Hertfordshire, knife crime has more than doubled in the past 8 years. And now the police force is ploughing money into a hard-hitting project specifically targeting the people most likely to carry a knife or be injured by one. Kate Bradbrook was given exclusive access.
Some of the most at-risk young people in the county, vulnerable, some already involved in knife crime, attending a hard-hitting presentation set in a courtroom. The aim, to prevent them from coming here for real.
To commit a murder, do you have to intend to kill somebody? Yes or no?
This event has been organised by the Hertfordshire Police Gangs and Schools team. Set up this year, it's had almost 300 referrals. This is all about early intervention, preventing deaths like Josh Hanson's.
Josh was cut from his ear through his throat, right down his chest, a 37-centimetre injury.
Josh wasn't involved in a gang. He wasn't carrying a knife. But he died on a night out, attacked by someone he had never met.
Just looking at their faces and knowing that Josh isn't here with us anymore, and they've got this chance to potentially change their lives. I find it really, really hard to look at them because I see Josh sitting there as well, and I just think, you know, he's not here anymore, you're here, you want to try and reach them, get, you know, right into their hearts, and you know, all we can do is share Josh's story.
I'm 28, laying on the floor after being shot by a so-called gang, crying, want to see my mum on the tarmac floor, you know, big 28 years old.
Darren Awalesi, another innocent victim, but here to tell the tale. He's still living with the effects of gang violence.
Sometimes it is hard. Sometimes it's just the environment that you're in. Like, it could really help if some children could be taken out of their environment and just be put somewhere else, and their surroundings just change, just tweaked a little, and it will give them an extra chance at life. We've had 2 young guys that have come up and spoke to us after the session and said to all 3 of us how we impacted their day, their time out here. And you're talking maybe that's 2.5 hours out their time that they've come on their own free will, spoke to us about, and there will be a change, 100%.
This teenager agreed to speak to me about his own experiences. We protected his identity for his own safety. One person tonight said that they'd been stabbed. Have you been stabbed?
Yeah, I got stabbed in the back 3 different times. I got chased down with machetes. I was just a big drug dealer. Had a lot of money. Had a lot of haters on me. I'm going to be real. If any of their own family or friends get killed, that's the only way they can actually stop doing it.
And that's the challenge facing this police force and others across the country.
Thank you all for your time, and thanks for sitting through it.
How to divert young people away from gang culture before it's too late. Kate Bradbrook, BBC Look East.
Well, Hertfordshire records between 1 and 2 knife crimes each day. Not the highest in this region, but why do police there think this project is the way to address the issue? Well, I asked the Police and Crime Commissioner, David Lloyd.
Well, I think you've got to work up the line, if you like. You've got to make sure that we change the culture around knife crime, rather than saying, let's just take knives off the street at that end. Actually, this is a really impactful programme. It gets to people who are at risk of offending, and that's really the best way I can think of ensuring that we don't have an issue on the streets in Hertfordshire.
Well, you are talking in these events about surgery, about people dying, people grieving. It's hard-hitting, of course, to many of us, but how do you make sure this group of teenagers don't actually find it exciting and glamorous? It was quite clear, just from their body language, how difficult they were finding it. And, you know, some people were having to go out during the middle because they clearly had been so affected by it. And that's quite right. I would prefer them to be frightened by what they see and feeling that this really isn't the right thing to do, and therefore giving up carrying knives, giving up being a member of a gang. Is there any support for them, getting them away from these gangs once they've decided to do that?
Yes, they have got the support there. We've got a brilliant youth team in Hertfordshire which puts that right support there. But that's not to say it's easy. I recognise, I think everyone who's seen this evening's programme will recognise how difficult that transition can be. And, you know, I really think that it's worth putting the money in so that we can break this problem.
Well, you have found money for this project from raising council tax. You're going to have 15 officers dedicated to it. How and when will you know if it's been money well spent?
I think that we will see that numbers of those being injured, those being assaulted, the fear that there is on the streets, I think that will change. I think it will take 2 or 3 years, but I think it will change. It will also, of course, be helped. It's a side issue, but it'll be helped that we're putting in even more police officers, that we're finding other ways of bringing policing right to the front focus. That will help too, but it's very difficult to prove a negative. What I challenge you is to bring me back in a couple of years' time and let's talk about it then. I think there will have been a step change.
I look forward to doing it. David Lloyd, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.